From the Bob Mills Weather Center, meteorologist Stephen Nehrenz.
It has been the deep freeze big time here in Green Country since going back to the end of last week. Now, it's been brutal to be out in, right? But it has made for some really cool, really pretty sights. Of course, the snow is always pretty, right? We've seen a lot of these shots of the steam coming off the lakes last few days, and this will happen when we have this bitter cold Arctic air mass that's rolling over the relatively warmer lake and river waters. Awesome shot from Mary over Grand Lake. Look at all that steam. Almost looks like little clouds. It's just rolling right over the lake there this morning. Mary, thanks for sending that in. Of course, still snow on the ground for some of us. There's been more melting in some spots than others, of course, where the heaviest or lightest amounts were. But as we look from Jinx over the Arkansas River, speaking of which, don't have as much of it today with the lighter winds, different wind component. But we've seen some of that steam come rolling off the Arkansas River the last couple days as well. Still see snow on the ground as we look from Jinx. Across the country, of course, this has been a big Arctic blast for much of the country. Quite a few areas, not just us, have gotten snow. So there's now about 54% of the lower 48 United States that has snow cover. Just a month ago, it was only about 16%. Of course, the winter got off to a very slow start across the country from a snow standpoint with how relatively mild, warm December was. And our January is kind of fighting back on that from a snow coverage standpoint. We can still see, as you know, that snow on visible satellite that's continuing to try to melt. Of course, the sub-freezing temperatures isn't helping, but the sunshine and the solar insulation is helping to melt some of that off. At least it's melted a lot of it off the roads the last day or two, but we'll still see some of that hanging on until we can really get temperatures above freezing tomorrow. Temperatures are in the teens. It is still bitter cold, and Miami is still at 7, but teens elsewhere. But this is about where our highs were yesterday, so I know it doesn't feel like it, but we are headed up from a temperature standpoint, especially as we head into tomorrow. This is the number of hours that we have been below freezing consecutively. So basically from Tulsa to the north, it's been more than 100 hours straight, more than 4 days straight below freezing. Of course, the numbers fluctuate a little bit in southeastern Oklahoma because some spots had, during Friday and Saturday, a little brief period where they got right up to 32 and then dropped again. But in general, it's been a long, cold stretch. Still a far cry from what we had February a couple years ago. It's been a long stretch nonetheless. We are about 24 hours away now here in Tulsa from getting back above freezing. Should be late morning, lunchtime tomorrow that we finally get back above freezing. Not today, though. High of about 20 here in the metro this afternoon, even with lots of sunshine. A lighter wind is going to help as far as having to be out and about and getting some things done. You get to Tahlequah and Grove, Veneta, about 17, 18 for your high, 20 in Tulsa, Pawhuska to Pawnee into the low 20s. We'll drop off fast tonight. It's going to be another bone-chilling, pipe-busting type night. Most of us in the single digits tomorrow morning. I've got 6 to 8 on the range here, but given how the last few nights have been, wouldn't be surprised if there's still some spots that are at 0, 1, 2 degrees in those valley locations in the morning. Tomorrow, south winds kick in finally, and we get back above freezing. 39 degrees, 40 degrees. We'll never have felt so good. I do want to point out it will still be very chilly because south winds will be strong on Wednesday, so there'll still be big coat weather. And then just on the heels of that warm up and recovery, well, guess what? Here comes another cold front. Thursday, with temperatures Thursday afternoon, I think will be pretty similar to Wednesday. Upper 30s, low 40s, but then that cold front comes barreling through. It's got another dose of Arctic air with it. And by the time we get into Friday, lows, teens, single digits, highs Friday, only in the 20s. Again, we dip back below freezing, but this next cold front doesn't look like that air mass, Arctic air mass, is going to linger quite as long as the cold snap that we're in right now. So frigid today and tomorrow morning, back above freezing on Wednesday afternoon and Thursday afternoon. That cold front barrels through, could be maybe a sleet pellet or two, but generally will be dry. Lows in the 20s, or excuse me, highs in the 20s, lows in the single digits again to start off the weekend, and then we'll start to rebound above freezing again on Sunday.